Welcome to this little lecture or demonstration or exposition, if you will, of my life becoming king in Chicago, Illinois, USA. I was born here in Cook County in Berwyn's McNeil General Hospital in 1951. And we lived in Berwyn for a few years. Then we moved to Elmhurst, Illinois, which is a suburb here also. And I, all told, have 3 sisters and 1 brother. I'm the oldest of these. And in Elmhurst, I went to school there, kindergarten and so on, up to 2nd grade. Then we moved out to Glen Ellen in farther western suburbs. And there I went to grade school from grade 3 to grade 6. And then I went to Glen Ellen Junior High, also in Glen Ellen. And there I began to excel in school. I took a number of honors courses, math and English. And I got active in sports to a certain extent. I was active in a couple of sports. And then I of course went to high school at Glenbard West High School in Glen Ellen, and there I continued to do well academically. And in my first year, freshman year, I was a wrestler on the wrestling team, and I wrestled other schools. I was the first string wrestler from Glenbard, and I want to relate a little experience that I had there as a wrestler for Glenbard. We went one meet to a school, I think it was in West Chicago, somewhere out way far in the west. And my wrestling division was the 120-pound division, so I was 4th up to wrestle for the freshmen. And my opponent was a very muscular guy. He showed a lot of, as we were warming up, he was a formidable opponent. He seemed very aggressive, and he was really anxious to beat me. And of course I was a very reflective kind of person. I was very introspective, and I just kept everything to myself, so I consider this a good challenge. So I went out, we started our match, and the first period, I'm not sure exactly how things went the first and second period. There were 3 periods in a wrestling match in high school, each 2 minutes long. And after 4 minutes, after the first 2 periods, it had gone on for quite some time, he was ahead by 1 point. I think he had 3 points, I had 2 points. I had had a takedown, and he had an escape and a reversal or something like that. Anyway, the score was 3-2. I was losing. And we started the 3rd period, and I was on the bottom at the beginning. That was the second 2 periods. The 2nd and 3rd period, you alternate. One person on the top at the beginning, the other person on the top for the final 3rd period. And for the 3rd period, as I said, I was on the bottom. So I was losing by 1 point. A reversal would have reversed the score. I would be winning. An escape, I would have got 1 point, and would have been tied. But we were both very tired, and I was having a hard time. I was on the bottom, and it didn't look good. We just went on and on and on for that final period. I was on the bottom. I couldn't do anything, and but I was really tired, and he apparently was really tired too. But he was on top, and he had the advantage, and he was winning. So toward the very end of the match. And this is really a high point in my life. My coach yelled out to me, "Switch!" And switch, of course, is a move that you make you put your arm out and you reach around behind your opponent, and you get behind him, and you make the reversal and get 2 points. So I did it. I tried it anyway. I reached around, and it was such a difficult move because I had no breath left, and but somehow, with the greatest of exertion, I think in my whole life, I got around behind him and grabbed onto him, and I got the reversal, and the referee yelled out 2, which was my points that I got for the reversal. So I was ahead by 1 point in the match, and it was just all I could do just to keep my body weight on top of him. I had no strength in my arms. I just was just there because of my weight alone. But he was so tired also, it turned out, that he couldn't get out from under me. So another second went by, and the buzzer sounded. They had these horns, and the buzzer sounded, and the match was over. And my team leaped from their bench seats. Everybody leaped up in the air and screaming and shouting and everything, and they rushed to the edge of the mat, and the referee raised my arm as the winner of the match, and I left the mat into the waiting arms of my team, and they were all just so excited about it, and it was just the most tremendous thing I think that had ever happened to me to that point. So I was very, very well, I was exhausted. So as it happened, the rest of the season, I had a fairly good season. My record was 9 wins, 5 losses, and 1 tie. Now you may think that's kind of an average season, a little bit of a good season, more wins than losses anyway. But if you'll note, and I didn't notice this until 1986, you'll note that 9, 5, and 1 is the last 3 digits of all of my teammates and me and our opponents that year, our birth date. I was born in 1951, and I dare say probably most of my cohort, my age cohort in school, was born in 1951. So this was like a marker, apparently. I don't know. Somebody must have been following my wrestling career and wanted this match in particular to be remembered by putting a stamp on my season, my wrestling record that year. So that's the story I wanted to tell. Now, then the rest of high school was distinguished, of course, by good marks in school. I was ranked 5th in my senior year out of class of 600. And I joined the newspaper staff sophomore year. I was a reporter for on the sports page. Did wrote stories about sporting events. And junior year, I was picked as the editor of the sports page. So I did all the organization of the stories and assigned stories and mapped out the page and was in charge of the sports page. Then that was a pretty responsible position. But then my next year, senior year, I applied for the job of top editor, managing editor. And there were 3 of us, 2 of my friends and I, because we were all close on the newspaper staff. And the advisor, a faculty member in the high school who taught journalism, she was the advisor of the school paper. She was the person who picked all of the people's offices. You know, we competed with we did one issue where only the people who were competing for an office worked on those positions, and so that she could get some idea of how we might be if we were chosen. So I competed for the top editor position, and when the final issue of the paper came out, all the story that gave the details of who was picked was held back each year by the advisor, and so nobody knew until the paper came out who took the positions, who won the positions. And the morning came and the paper was out, and I was studying in the library at the beginning of the school day, and a friend of mine who was also on the newspaper staff walked in the door and saw me and he said, "Hi, Chief." And he was all excited because he was rooting for me, and I had won the top editor position. So the next year, senior year, I was the top editor, and it was a great year, and we had a lot of exciting things happen. But mainly, it was just a fulfillment of the thought that I'd had back as a freshman. I thought to myself, I would really like to be a leader in Glenbard society. Glenbard is our name of the high school. And I thought to myself, I would like to be one of the 3, what I consider to be the top positions, student positions in the school. Either the leader of the student government, president of the student council, the students' league they called it, or the editor of the the newspaper, which I did get, or the top editor of the yearbook. So those were the three positions, and I made no plans on how to do it. I just said to myself, I would like to be one of those top three. I would like to be a leader in the school, and it came to be. And we did a lot of exciting things senior year, but you'd have to look at those, go to the archives of the newspaper and see what we did. That's the best story there. So I applied to college in my senior year and got in and went. So that's the next episode that I'll be describing next.